Time is a curious thing. We speak of it as though we possessed it. My time, your time, wasting time, saving time, as if one could bottle the wind or grasp a river in one's hand. But time is not ours. It is a stream flowing from a source beyond us, and its current moves swiftly, whether we acknowledge it or not. There is an ancient foolishness in human heart that assumes there will always be more of it. Men build great plans upon a foundation of vapor. They hoard treasures in barns built on shifting sands. They delay repentance for tomorrow that never comes. And yet time, impartial and relentless, does not wait for the slow of heart. You who read this now, do not mistake the apparent abundance of your days for true abundance, for in truth, the hour is shorter than you think. The world itself senses it. Beneath the glittering distractions and frantic entertainments lies a deep unease, as though creation itself strains towards something impending, something greater than itself, or perhaps something it cannot escape. It is the murmur of eternity breaking in upon the temporary. We have been given this strange warning, that there are but 24 hours to heed what God is saying, and though the number may not bind Him, it binds us to a sobering awareness. The window to hear and obey is not endless. The soul that continually postpones the voice of God finds the voice grows faint, not because God ceases to speak, but because the heart becomes deaf. The choice to delay is itself a choice to turn away. There is a subtle arrogance in the way we presume on time. We think, when life is less busy, I will listen. When my affairs are in order, then I will seek. When the children are grown, when retirement comes, when the crisis passes, then I will be ready. But the readiness we imagine is a mirage. It will never come. There is always something more urgent, something more enticing, something easier than submission to the voice of the Holy One. But the hour is shorter than you think, not because God is cruel, but because time itself is finite, and because the long-predicted awakening draws near. There is mercy in the warning. It is a clarion call, not a condemnation. It is the invitation of the one who still knocks upon the door, though the night grows late. He does not wish that any should perish, but that all should come to life before the dawn breaks in terror and glory. Consider this well. At this very moment, unseen forces move. The veil between the temporal and the eternal thins. The final awakening will not consult your calendar. It will not be polite. It will tear away illusions, expose what is hidden, and call forth what is true in every soul. Will you have prepared in the time given, or will you be caught naked in the storm? You have heard the phrase, "Today, if you hear His voice, do not harden your heart." I say again, today. For tomorrow is a land in which no man yet dwells, and yesterday cannot be returned to. Only the now belongs to you. Use it well. Listen while you may. The hour is shorter than you think. If you'd like, I can also expand the other keynotes in this same style. Just say which one you want next. Here is an expanded version of Keynote 2. Awakening is not a gentle dawn, but a tearing of the veil. Written in C.C. Lewis style, without mentioning him. About 600 words, in a continuous flow without headings. Awakening is a word much loved and little understood. The human imagination flatters itself with soft pictures, gentle mornings where light creeps in, warming the face and stirring the senses with pleasant ease. It imagines spiritual awakening will come in much the same manner, a subtle shift in perspective, a harmless enlargement of heart, a warm and comforting light replacing cold shadows. But this is not so. The awakening that comes is not gentle, it is not polite, It is not calibrated to preserve your illusions or respect your preferences. Rather, it comes as a tearing of the veil, and if you have hidden behind that veil, you will find yourself suddenly, painfully exposed. Understand this: the world has, from the beginning, clothed itself in layers of falsehood, some inherited, some constructed willingly. We love our illusions. We cherish the lies that flatter us, the beliefs that excuse us, the systems that shield us from the terrible clarity of truth. A life built on such illusions is like a house built of fog. When the wind comes, as it surely will, there will be nothing left standing. The final awakening that approaches is such a wind. Its signs are already evident to those who have eyes to see. It comes not with the consent of the masses, but with the authority of the Almighty. It will rip open the subtle darknesses we have tolerated. It will expose secret motives. It will lay bare the foundations of every heart and every institution, and in that moment we shall be revealed, not as we would like to appear, but as we are. Some will rage against this unveiling. They will cling to the tatters of their old coverings and curse the light for shining. Others will fall in repentance, seeing, perhaps for the first time, how deeply they have wandered from the truth. A few will rejoice, for they have long yearned for such a reckoning and have prepared their hearts in humility. Yet do not misunderstand, there is no neutral ground. The awakening forces a choice. To stand in the light is to be changed by it. To refuse the light is to be consumed by the very shadows we once controlled. There is no comfortable in-between. The temptation, of course, is to dismiss such talk as melodrama, to imagine that life will continue as it always has, with minor adjustments, but no real upheaval. This is the devil's lullaby, a song to keep us asleep while the veil begins to tear. Those lulled by such a song will awaken only to ruin. Therefore, chosen one, hear this. Do not await a pleasant dawn. Prepare for a storm. Ready your soul, not with clever arguments or vague hopes, but with repentance, prayer, and a fierce loyalty to the truth, no matter what it costs. For when the veil tears, you will not have time to assemble virtue on the spot. You will simply be what you have become. It is mercy that you are warned now. It is mercy that the signs begin with whispers before they shout. But soon enough the shout will come. The veil will rend from top to bottom. The trumpet will sound, and in that hour you will not ask whether it was fair or whether it was convenient. You will only ask, am I ready? Do not sleep through this warning. Do not flatter yourself with images of gentle awakenings. The truth is harder and holier than we dare imagine. But it is also better, and if you prepare, if you welcome its coming, you will find yourself standing not in ruin, but in glory. If you'd like, I can write Keynote 3 next, The Chosen Must Choose, in this same style. Just say the word. Here is an expanded version of Keynote 3, The Chosen Must Choose, written in the style you requested, Lewis-like, without mentioning him, about 600 words, continuous flow. There is an ancient folly in thinking that to be chosen by God is to be excused from effort. It is a strange comfort some take, as if being chosen were a shield against all difficulty, a passport to ease and certainty. They speak of it lightly, as though one's mere election ensures triumph without testing, arrival without a journey. But the truth is sterner and far more beautiful. To be chosen is not to be exempt, but to be summoned. It is not the end of striving, it is the beginning. To be chosen is to be called into the arena, not seated in the gallery. It is to be handed a sword when others rest, to be tasked with a burden others may not even see. The chosen must choose, and this is the terrible dignity of your position. You are not a pawn swept along by fate. You are one called to respond, to act, to decide again and again in loyalty and love. There is a peculiar temptation for the chosen to confuse privilege with purpose. They may remember their calling, yet forget its cost. They may imagine that the honor of being chosen spares them from the trials of obedience, or that their status will smooth their path. But this is not so. If anything, the chosen are subject to greater testing, for more has been entrusted to them. To whom much is given, much will be required. And if you are chosen, and you who hear this take it to heart, then you must actively choose in return. This choice is not a single moment, but a lifelong series of moments. Each day the question stands before you. Will you heed the voice of God today, or will you drift? Will you embrace the refining fire, or will you resist its heat? Will you walk in the truth when it costs you, or will you choose the pleasant lie? Every hour presents a fork in the road, and no one walks both paths. Some chosen souls fall not through rebellion, but through neglect. They postpone obedience. They cling to respectable sins. They wait for a more convenient season, imagining that tomorrow they will choose more rightly. But tomorrow is built upon today, and each choice hardens or softens the soul. You cannot sow thistles and reap wheat. The one who delays faithfulness finds that faith becomes ever harder to grasp. The path of the chosen grows narrower, not wider, with time. You must understand also that being chosen is not for your own sake alone. It is a calling to bear light for others, to carry burdens not your own, to stand in the gap where few dare to go. There is a loneliness in such a path, and a joy deeper than the world's pleasures. But you will only know it if you choose it freely, not under compulsion, not for the praise of men, but because you love the one who calls you. And love is the heart of it all. The choice you face is not ultimately about duty or fear, though both may play their part. It is about love. Love strong enough to obey when you do not understand, to trust when the path darkens, to follow even when the cost is everything. For in the end, love alone sustains the chosen. You have heard the call. Now you must choose your answer. The day grows late. The awakening draws near. Many are called, but not all will answer rightly. The time is not for drifting or delay. The chosen must choose, and choose now. If you want, I can continue with keynote 4 next. 7 signs whisper, but soon they will shout in the same style. Just say when you're ready. Here is an expanded version of keynote 4. 7 signs whisper, but soon they will shout. Written in the same style as before, Lewis-like, without mentioning him, about 600 words, continuous flow. The signs of the times do not announce themselves with banners. They do not parade through the streets, nor do they interrupt your daily affairs with obvious declarations. No, they come quietly at first, as whispers woven into the fabric of life, so subtle that only those who are watchful perceive them. But make no mistake, what whispers now will soon shout. What stirs faintly in the heart of the world will soon shake the earth. The wise do not wait for the roar to begin listening. The 7 signs are not random, nor are they the inventions of anxious minds. They are markers set by the hand of the Almighty, signals to those with ears to hear. And though they are spiritual before they are visible, they will in due time break forth into plain sight. The tragedy is not that the signs are obscure. It is that men have become deaf and blind, preferring comfort to truth and distraction to discernment. The first sign is the crumbling of false certainties. Institutions long trusted begin to tremble. Foundations once thought immovable reveal cracks. What once seemed unshakable, be it in government, in culture, in human wisdom, is found hollow. This is no accident. The Lord is undermining the idols in which men have placed their trust, preparing the ground for truth to take root where pride once reigned. The second sign is the strange convergence of prophecy and history. Words spoken long ago, once dismissed as fanciful or irrelevant, now find eerie correspondence in unfolding events. The pattern of the age is aligning with the words of the prophets. The third sign is the sharpening of conscience. People everywhere are finding their hearts unsettled. Sins once easily excused now weigh heavily. Convictions deepen, or they are defiantly silenced, leading to greater inner conflict. The Spirit of God is stirring the human soul, awakening a longing for righteousness, even as wickedness abounds. The fourth sign is the division of spirits. Lines are being drawn, often in unexpected places. Where once there was superficial unity, there is now an unbridgeable gulf between those who walk in truth and those who embrace deception. Friendships fracture, alliances shift, even families divide, not from malice, but because light cannot fellowship with darkness. The cost of standing with truth is rising. The fifth sign is a profound hunger in the hearts of the weary. Multitudes grow restless with the shallow promises of the world. They hunger for meaning, for transcendence, for something real. Many do not know what they seek, but the yearning itself is a sign. It is the Spirit calling them home, drawing them toward the coming awakening. The sixth sign is the increasing exposure of hidden darkness. Secrets long buried come to light. Corruption is uncovered in high places. Evil that once operated in shadows is dragged into view. It is an act of divine mercy, for only what is exposed can be judged and cleansed. But it is also a fearful thing to behold, for much will be laid bare. And the seventh sign is the trembling expectation that even the ungodly sense but cannot name. There is a growing awareness that the world is on the brink of something vast and irreversible. Poets, scientists, skeptics alike feel it. The air is thick with expectancy. The spirit is moving, and the world stirs uneasily in response. These are the seven signs. They whisper now, but soon they will shout. When they do, it will be too late to prepare. Therefore, chosen one, heed them now. Watch, pray, ready your heart, for the awakening comes swiftly, and those who have listened in the whisper will stand firm in the storm. If you want, I can continue with Keynote 5 next. The final awakening is not about escape, but transformation in this style. Just say the word. Here is an expanded version of Keynote 5. The final awakening is not about escape, but transformation. Written in the same Lewis-like style, about 600 words, continuous flow. It is a comforting lie to believe that the approaching awakening is chiefly about escape. Many would rather imagine that the hand of God will pluck them swiftly from this crumbling world, sparing them from its turmoil and trials. They envision themselves lifted away in a flash, untouched, untroubled, safely distant from the storm. But this is not the purpose of what is coming. The final awakening is not a grand evacuation. It is a holy transformation. It does not come to pamper the chosen, but to prepare them, not to shield them from suffering, but to forge them into vessels fit for a new age. Transformation is at the heart of God's work in every season, but never more so than in the one now at hand. The old order is passing away, not merely the political systems of man, nor the brittle structures of human pride, but the very ways of thinking, being, and living that have shaped this fallen world. A new thing is coming, and the people of God must be remade to inhabit it. What is fleshly cannot inherit what is spiritual. What is corruptible cannot bear the weight of glory. To long for mere escape is to misunderstand the nature of the calling. God is not raising a people of spectators, but a kingdom of priests, those who will reign with him in wisdom and holiness. But to reign in the age to come, one must be refined in the fires of this present age. You cannot rule over that which you have fled from. You cannot bear the authority of the Spirit while clinging to the comforts of the flesh. Transformation is not optional. It is the very essence of preparation. This transformation is both inward and outward. Inwardly, the heart must be stripped of its idols. Pride must be shattered, selfish ambition crucified, secret sin exposed and purged. Many speak of wanting to see the glory of God, but few are willing to undergo the dying required to behold it. Yet there is no other path. Unless a grain of wheat falls into the ground and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it bears much fruit. So too must the chosen die to what is old, that they might live to what is new. Outwardly, the life must come into alignment with the truth. The days of private devotion paired with public compromise are ending. In the light of the coming awakening, there can be no double life. Integrity must reign. The tongue, the hands, the very countenance must reflect the presence of the Spirit. This is not to suggest perfection in the flesh, but there must be a visible, undeniable testimony of transformation. The world is watching, and soon it will watch more closely still. Do not think this is a work you can accomplish by striving alone. It is a work of grace, but grace must be received with willing surrender. The Spirit will do what you cannot, but He will not do it without your consent. You must yield. You must present yourself as a living sacrifice, not once, but daily. You must embrace the discipline of the Lord, trusting that He wounds only to heal, that He prunes only to make fruitful. The pain of transformation is real, but the joy it produces far surpasses the suffering. In the end, the final awakening will not reveal who has escaped hardship, but who has been changed by it. The storm will come. It is already upon us. The question is not whether you will be spared its winds, but whether you will emerge from it as gold refined in fire. Therefore, do not seek escape. Seek transformation. For the one who is transformed will find, in the day of awakening, that they are ready not to flee this world, but to inherit the one to come.